1.5 hours. In 1 hour, we raised three.
You're good. You go? Your forum? Yeah. Do it. Good evening, everybody. We'll call the meeting to order at 6:03.
Somebody that have a high heel.
Lourdes contacted me. She had received some pain shots and she said she just couldn't.
Okay.
Gary, I think it's,
Yeah.
he wasn't the doctor too, Gary was.
Does anybody, I have some additions, anybody else have any additions to the agenda? Okay, I'm gonna add for C, National Honor Society. Volunteers, participants / families. Let's talk about that. And then some more just brainstorming real quick, I promise, so we can leave on clubs, school running clubs at the school, so that'll be like and running teams. E. And that's it.
I spoke to two people and it was going to register.
Stand up for the national anthem. The pledge, you mean? Sorry.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments? People online, no? Okay. I wanted to thank everybody for coming into that emergency meeting, special call while I was on an airplane. I was literally on it and I got to watch for a second, but there was no audio. And so I didn't really get to see much, but thanks for doing that while I was gone. There was just some grayness on the promo code conversation you guys had for the students. And I know that we're not all 100% in agreement on free or not free and marking down the price of the run. And I think what we've learned up to now on where we're at and how close we are and the amount of funding that we have, which is probably about 45,000, I'm thinking more or less in funding and sponsorships. That's not counting any of the runner.
Thank you, Judy.
Yeah.
You're a big fan for that.
Right, that actually is more than the one that we had with 600 runners with a net revenue. So I'm really happy with the money. You know, I had a goal to finish this thing and have 25,000 offered to whatever veterans cause that we end up deciding to do between our committee and whoever else is involved in that decision with us. And that's going to be great. And hopefully with time and with effort, we'll have a real good worthy cause that will impact veterans and not fall into an administrative, mess where we dilute all that hard-earned money that we've raised. So talking about that in the student promo code, and I know that could be like a wildfire if we start giving out a free student code. But here we are. We have the capacity for 700 runners. We have 700 fruit cups. We have 700 smoothies. We have, told our sponsors to give us 700 swags for the bags. I have 700 bags. We have 700 shirts. I mean, we are ready for 700 people. So who wants like 50,000 cases of leftover stuff or 90 million extra fruits or 42,000 cups of smoothie? So I really firmly want this to be an enjoyment. We have a great band coming. This band is really, really good. You can see them on Facebook, Project X, really great band. We have the marching band who has kind of stepped it up now. They're going to be doing the national anthem, that's all that's on my mind about national anthem. Let's talk to them today. And then they're going to do pep songs as the runners start finishing. So we're going to try to time that perfectly. So those first sets of runners are going to get some really cool 63-piece marching band music. It's going to be coming while they're coming in. It's going to be really impactful, really fun. And then we're going to have, our booths. And it's not going to be a monstrous display of booths, but I think we have enough. And with the band and then the mayor has told me he's going to run it with his son and he's going to speak. So we have the mayor, Mike will speak, I'll speak. we'll do our things. And I think we'll have plenty to offer the community. So to me, at this point, with obviously, and our sponsors, and okay, we do have several booths of small businesses that have put significant investments to come and be seen with our community. So I really want to just first vote on the student promo code, and we can quickly, if you would like to go through it and talk about maybe some detailed, okay, if this then that's, or we can just have the student code, give it only to stakeholders like Daylene and people that we know that will disseminate it, you know, in a way that we can vet. I've been speaking to Moritz a lot, and he gave me some suggestions, and we'll get to see that's him. But he, you know, I talked to him earlier on, and he said that I can get you lots of people, but they just don't have the money to pay for that. So this 47, you know, I know that we spoke to the old person, not the vendor, he doesn't like to be called the vendor, but the Jingle Bell Jog person, Josh. He brings a slew of runners, that's what they do. So that's what they're used to paying me $47, that's fine. But where we didn't market to that, we marketed to our community mostly. And I have gone out and put some paid ads out. Larry put some real good urgency, and my fire got lit, and we talked, and we tried with Mr. Peterman to see if we can do some sort of, you know, pay out of a discretionary budget, couldn't get that done. So I went out and I did it. So I paid for an ad, headquarters show to pay for it. We put $1,500 into a paid ad. I checked it earlier this afternoon. It's up to 6,000 views, but it's more than that. Facebook only shows 6,000, but the analytics are much more robust. There were a couple of, they did it in such haste on Wednesday, like that was the day before everybody was leaving for like the weekend, right? So, I mean, haste, like I saw a typo, fix it, blah, 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 okay, out. So what we discovered, I said, let me see the analytics yesterday. I want to see how it's doing, like the real analytics. And they, in haste, did not get our diameter down to our area. So it got national coverage. So like California, all kinds of craziness. So my ad agency actually kicked in $500 to make up for their mistake, and they just now zoomed it in. So it's zoomed in now, boosted for another $500 or $1,000. I don't even remember what they said, but it's, you know, it's moving and it's getting churned in with keywords and the correct demographic and the correct audience as close as they could. So I have, what is our current enrollment?
I'm looking at it right now. We have 180.
180, okay. So we're almost 200. We're almost a third of the way there. 180 is kind of good. So here's some good stuff, which I'm gonna, and going back to, because I think student program coming to have a little bit more that you guys know, I'm going to be, I already told the band leader with 63 kids coming on school buses. They have 63 families. They have a sister, their brother, their mother, their father. So, I mean, that's the kind of thing we want there. You know, we want this patient at the finish line. The run, you know, if they're not going to run or walk, okay, fine. You know, we already have the medals we paid for. We have 700 medals, right? Or more maybe because of the little kids ones and the winners and all that stuff. So we have all this stuff paid for. So I do believe that having people at the event is just going to make it better. And I want to have a booth. I don't know if the American Legion wants a booth or if any other of the closely held veterans causes locally. We've got schools, we've got a couple of charities. Isle has pushed out a couple to me that sound really great. Nonprofits, I'm sorry, not charities, that are advocates for mental health for kids. You know, I don't want to make this, I don't want to go all over the place and have like booths of things that have nothing to do with anything with family. Because, you know, I want to still be relevant to our audience. But again, I mean, we've got all these sponsors that paid. I really want to, I want them to see people. I want to see people, and I want the band to be enjoyed, I want everything to be enjoyed. And see you and see our cause and see that the veterans are a big part of this community. And that being said, I'd like to figure out a way to propose a vote to firmly or discuss not putting a student code so that the students can get the run for free and get the bibs, so they can run and get time.
During your absence, Judy, we actually did that at the last meeting. We had a special call for the committee.
Right.
We voted on, and Isle generated a student code, which has already been given to select groups of students. So I'm not quite sure if we need to vote on it again, unless you wanted to revisit it.
Yeah, I think that we weren't 100% sure of reviewing the Zoom or reviewing the recording of that it wasn't clear on how that was going to be given out and who was going to get it and who qualified to get the code.
Yeah, I realized Since I went back, did we ask for like a summary of what happened? So I went back, because I know we talked a lot.
Hmm.
And I know you guys voted on yes, let's do a student code. That vote was taken for sure.
Mhm.
And the code is on.
And the
There is a
code.
code.
Sure.
After that, we kept talking.
Okay.
So there wasn't a formal vote on how we wanted to give out that code. I know I gave out some ideas. I think you mentioned some ideas as well, but we didn't. You guys as a committee didn't vote on how we were going to actually, use the code.
Hmm.
Like, yes, we agreed on the vote, on the code, but we didn't, take a formal vote, okay, we're gonna do it on just so-and-so student, or yes to everybody, like, there was a lot of discussion on who should get it, should we just post it, should we not, because then we thought about the same thing, then everybody can just use it.
Hmm.
So that's really the detail that we need to iron out.
Hmm.
And
The code is already ready for you guys,
Mhm.
it's just a matter of figuring out how we want to.
Morgan suggested that we put in there that if they have the code, they have to have a student number with the school. So that's, not that we'll verify, but they're gonna drop it as as like a qualifying piece of data for their, and when they fill out, name, student ID number, I don't know, he did suggest that as a way to help put something in there that seems like it
Hmm.
validates the fact that you're a student.
Because what you mentioned was actually the point that was discussed as well, which was we've reached, the goal and have surpassed it on your back. And now we need to ensure that we have participants. So we recognized already that whether we get the money or not, there was a little bit of discussion. Some people disagreed, devaluing, whatever, but at the end, the vote was carried that we're going to go ahead with a student number because participation at this point is more important than generating more revenue, because you had done such an outstanding job with that. So one of the Barbara Goldman, and you're right, perhaps the discussion, we need to maybe flesh that out a bit. But Barbara Goldman had expressed an interest, the folks that had provided the volunteers for 9/11 event
Mhm.
had said that they had running groups and all that other, but their National Honor Society group meets on December 5th. And so they entertained leaking the student code out earlier, but they said 100%, they would not obligate, but give the number to the student 100. And with the understanding being that they were volunteering their hours and the school would generate volunteer hours for them. So in essence, they weren't running for free. They were donating their hours, and in return, they would get credit for the hours. So Barbara Goldman was already on board with that, and we provided that code to their administration.
Oh, okay, good.
So,
How many are used?
Nobody has used the code.
yeah, because they're not gonna do it till December 5th.
Okay.
They said as of December 5th, they said you can expect, at least a couple of hundred people.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, so that was kind of a, while you were away, I think that was one of the. points
Yeah, I
that
think it was
was-
a lot meeting.
Oh, yeah. Question to you, when they actually go on the bridge to pick up the packets, are we gonna check IDs? Are we gonna gather the info so the next time we have this run, we have all the data that we can see?
We
That would-
already have all that data. That's the whole
That's
point of using.
That's the town's data.
That's what you guys get from using this vendor. We have all the information when they sign up. We have it already.
Did he give you that website or did you get that yourself? another
No, yeah,
way?
he provided it. I guess it's a organizer platform. It's called Haku. Which is the same platform that the link where it takes you to register. So we have that database
Hmm.
of the ones that have signed up this year.
So that student code's gonna apply to just a student or like the full family?
That's what you guys need to
Yeah,
like
we-
hash out those details.
Well, we had discussed it and we had said that in part, it was the discussion was based on whether or not we would lower the price, and by providing the student code for the student, the parents or family members could run at $20 a piece, because we had reduced the price to $20.
We've already advertised $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already, that's it.
Yeah.
That's
I
out.
mean, that's it's not the whole family gets the student code, it's the student gets the code, and if the family wants to accompany them, we thought that by reducing the price to $20, that would encourage them, rather than a family of 4 spending $160 minus the student's registration. So that was the other point that we had discussed at that meeting, was by reducing the price, we would pull in the family members, and there would not be, if I remember, Ed, there wouldn't be an additional discount provided to the families.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought.
Just student
Yeah.
free mom, $20.
Yeah, and the students, and there was a bit of a discussion on who qualified as a student, and we just said all students, anybody that's a student qualifies, doesn't have to be high school, elementary, whatever, college, student is a student. Because, again, going back to the principle that you've already done the legwork in generating the revenue, now we need participants.
I'm not done, I'll get more.
Yeah.
But not for like vendor booths, that's it for that.
Yeah.
Sponsor booths, number booths.
Yeah.
So
So,
get donations.
so then the student, so what do we need to vote on? We need to, the student code's going out to anybody that's a student.
Anybody's a student.
And were we providing that to the schools ourselves? We had the contact for Barbara Goldman.
I have Moritz.
And what about Matter Lake? I think that was the other.
I don't know anybody at
I,
Mount.
my ex-wife is in the administration, so I can put it to her. So she can disseminate it to.
I've got Hialeah Gardens High School, Hialeah Gardens Middle School. I have HML and Hialeah Middle, I guess it is. Okay. So those are ready. I haven't given it out yet, but
Okay.
like Moritz is like, I have 30 kids. Their meeting was yesterday,
Hmm,
so they're kind of ready. I just said, oh, we'll figure it out.
hmm.
They're gonna do their, but it's gonna be their project. It's gonna be their December project. So they're gonna be like that. They're gonna be like volunteer or running for, or.
Yeah,
so
running
it's-
for a
Yeah,
vet.
it's their, it's probably what they're doing too. It's their December project for National New Year on it.
Oh, okay, and this one, the Miss Soto represents the Barbara Goldman National Honor
Yeah.
Society. But is also tied into the running club and the principal's office, and so they said they were going to forward an announcement and also bring in the other, but for sure, her National Honor Society people could be counted on to provide runners in significant numbers.
That's awesome. And just like, as everybody's talking about, anybody remind runners and families of runners go be cheering them on if they don't want to run and I mean, there's gonna be plenty to do at the end. There's no, that's free. I mean, to be there at the end of the finish line is free. And that's kind of gonna be where the party is.
So the things that we need to vote on, Isle, you thought something needed clarification that we had discussed, but did it require a vote? You said that specifically, Judy, who gets the code? And we said all students,
So all students,
but we
Yeah,
don't
that's
publish
what
it.
That's what the vote is. Because there was discussion afterwards of, okay, does a 3-year-old count as a student because they could be going to school too, like things like
Yeah.
that. So is it you guys that are gonna be giving out the code? Is it us? Do we promote it anywhere? Like, that's what we need to know.
Mhm.
students
We
are
had the question about the little run at the.
the range.
Exactly, I think you brought that up, that the kids, the little kids.
Kids that are charged them.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if they're students, then they technically are free. So they would get, instead of 10, it would be 0.
Hmm.
Do you need a little code too? So does it right?
No, we can have the code. Well, right now, the code is set up that it's only for the actual 5K, not for the little one. However, if you guys decide to take a vote and include the little one, we can include it. That's not a
I
problem.
don't know, what do you think?
We already ordered trophies for it. Like if
Yeah.
nobody runs, we're gonna have all these trophies and nobody's gonna win.
Hmm.
We got a trophy for each age group and each age group of.
Make a motion.
Okay,
What do you think, though? The discussion is to make the kids free, like the kids, little kids run free?
And see age group of the little kids.
It's 11 and down, I believe, and then they're broken up into little two.
I think even less than that.
I think I have it, yeah.
It's pretty rough right down.
The kids race, yeah, actually ages 5 and 6 go together,
Mhm.
7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, so it's 4 ages.
Right,
For the
right.
kids race,
And how many people have signed up for the little kids race?
4.
Four. Okay,
We had more money in trophies, we're gonna throw in the garbage.
yeah.
We're just gonna throw it in the garbage.
Do they have the year on them?
I don't know. I don't know.
We, you told me to wait till Thursday to order.
Oh, we haven't ordered yet, because we were still good. That
You
was our
were-
last.
Yeah, we
minute. Get
talked
this
about
done.
waiting to see, and to see the numbers, I think that was also.
Hmm.
Slept a year, we need to do it next year.
Yeah, as long as I don't have the date on it.
Order the
But-
trophy for 4 kids.
Yeah. But anywho, the discussion is whether or not we let the little kids run for free. And is there a thought that by reducing the price to 0, that it would encourage participants? And I don't know if $10 would keep people from signing up.
But again, and I'm sorry to
A free
remark,
student, but it's a
But you're
student.
saying a student is a student is.
They're all gonna be students.
5-year-olds are students.
Right.
Under the definition that we just made,
So
so
it's,
like,
it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of weird.
But then what we should consider doing is rather than having to put in a student code, we should just have them say, kids run free for the what do we call it?
The little
Rain-
reindeer that.
The reindeer dash, the dash, all dash kids run free.
let me ask you something, and that just be like a side event? That-
It
you
is.
know,
It is a kind of that.
What I'm saying is not to, it doesn't have to be trophies or anything, or like registration or anything, like if the family shows up there and there's a high school kid running, can the 5-year-old kid just run that race? Or like, not so formal?
But we had like extra bibs, now we had 700 bibs printed, so we were actually, we weren't gonna do it formal, we were gonna do it super like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
But now we have all these bibs and all these trophies and all these medals, we said, well, we might as well give the little kids will be so, they'll feel so special with a real bib on and they're gonna get time, they'll get a real time.
Do they get a time?
They will with that bib, he said they would. didn't
Yeah,
he?
and we give him we give him the regular bibs, which we have plenty of.
What, 700?
This is a nationally sanctioned run. So
No, no.
anyone that runs in this run, not only, and wears a bib, they'll be on the internet, it'll be there, it's a lifelong thing, it's posted. We'll show them when they ran, what the time is. It's a,
I'm just saying the dash is like a 200-yard thing, so,
not sanctioned.
yeah, so it's not sanctioned. It has no, there's nothing there other than, 13, 17.
Here are things for you guys to consider and things that we can do on the back end. The student code, whatever direction you guys give us, we can keep it just for the 5K, which is anybody 11 and up, or 12 and up. Or we can also include the kids, the Little Ranger Dash. So whatever you guys tell us, we can turn it on. That's not a problem. We can do it right now. And then the other thing to consider is when we do codes, for example, a sponsor code, like let's say, I think headquarters Toyota had 10 comp codes. We can also limit the amount. So either you want to leave it unlimited for however many people want to sign up, or you want to do maybe just 50 students, 100, 150. That's something for you guys to consider as well. Just letting you know that you can also limit it.
We can stop
In
it
case
if it
you
goes
think-
out, if it runs out. of one.
Or if you think, if you spoke to the teacher and she said, I can get you 20, and you really want to just limit it to her 20, you can also just 20. And just give her the code instead, or you can give it to whoever. It's really up to you guys. I
And
don't
we
know.
can make a bunch more codes, right? We could like, so we can.
Yeah, we can.
So we
create
know where
codes
these
and
kids are
stuff.
coming from and stuff.
If
might
you
be
wanna
some-
do
some
that-
Data to have.
That's.
You might create a sense of urgency, well, you know, sign up now, right?
But we run out because we only have this many.
Exactly.
So maybe
You know,
the point is, which Julie's saying, maybe do a code for each school. That way we get good data of like who's showing up and who's not.
And we can kind of split it up because if we go over 700, we're gonna run out of stuff.
So, I mean, yeah, we can.
It's
create codes
potentially
for
a
you
wire,
guys.
it could be a wildfire, you never know. So I think that's a great idea. Now, how many? What are we thinking? Like,
Well, we only have trophies and medals and t-shirts for 700, so.
So
we have 200 registered already, almost.
Okay.
So we have 500 left.
And did any use the student code?
Not yet.
So we don't have any data, I know, like we asked this the last meeting, we don't have data as to like the last minute push, right?
We
My
can see,
ideally, we would want to keep some open so people that pay $20. Get the
what,
$20.
what data are you asking for, sorry?
Like from the
The
previous. like,
last 2 weeks, yeah, now you.
Yeah,
can-
there is data back. It shows you when people signed up, so we can pull a report and I can tell you how many people signed up in the last 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
How about?
But
no,
it's
how about-
last year.
Historically, when did the
No,
whole sign
there's
up?
no historical data because the historical data belongs.
But Naive told me, I asked him, I was
Yeah.
having some like pep talk with him and he's like,
Yeah,
relax,
yeah,
the
that's
last
what
2
he
weeks,
said.
it's crazy, yeah, I'll sign up.
What is the last grace?
We're down to 10 days now.
I just want to drop one thing, that I volunteered to do this earlier and the sources finally got back to me last night about these antlers.
Uh-huh.
And I basically told them we probably wouldn't be interested. There was a quote pricing and these are available.
I'm sorry, just to avoid any confusion, can we get through the item and then added open editions and added as an agenda
gonna-
for
yeah.
whoever's taking minutes?
That's gonna be F, the antlers, F.
So right now, we've already voted on
And
the
as a
student
reminder,
code.
Okay, we gotta go.
We already voted on the student code, so we don't need to vote on that again. What we do need to decide is how to distribute it.
and
Barbara,
take a
Boone,
vote on that.
So would everybody agree that, how many do you think we should leave out of our 700 for the rest of the paying last minute people? Leave 200 for them, 150? So we have 500 in the bank right now left.
I would say to leave 200 and then keep an eye on. it,
Keep
right?
an eye. Okay, so now we have 300 to give out.
that seems a bit, if our purpose is to populate it with people, not money, it doesn't really matter if they, try to sign up. We just close the registration. So we can just say, we'll close the registration at 700 rather than, saying we're gonna keep 200 for the people that pay and then we end up with 50 people that pay and 150 kids that didn't get to sign up because we had limited it. So if we just put the limit at 700 and registration closes, then it doesn't matter,
Can we kind of throttle and watch it throughout the week as it goes? Because you have a live dashboard, right? Can you give me nightly numbers?
But
Yeah.
again, I'm sorry, Judy, but again, your intent that you stated, and I think we all agreed with you, was we need participants.
Right.
We don't need, so at this point, we just need 500 more runners, whether they pay or don't pay, it's irrelevant. So,
Well, it wouldn't hurt my feelings though, if we had 300 students and we ended up with 200 runners, that's 500 people, it's 100 less than the last time.
Mhm.
So, but leaving that 200 on the reserve for the last minute for the runners that want to probably do it, maybe that are waiting, they're doing their waiting thing. And again, we can watch it, we can make the vote now to say how the school, each school is gonna get 100 or 80, depending on the school that we're picking.
Mhm.
And then we'll get nightly numbers, and if it's not, if this isn't going down, then we'll allocate more to the other codes. And they won't, they won't even know, like, we'll do it before everybody gets stopped from doing it. I don't think it's gonna blow up one night and that's it, they're gone, they bought them all.
Yeah, we'll put, the 200 that we're saving represents 30%. And our
Mhm.
thought is that in the last 9-10 days, we're gonna get 30%
I
increase.
kind of feel like it's from whatever he's
It's growing.
saying, Ruben, the run vendor says it, Naeem said it from his prior experiences, that they come at the last minute. And they're gonna be really excited, because they're gonna get it for $20 instead of 47, they're used to playing 47.
Yeah,
But I think your point is well made, is that you can keep it, no one will even know about that, right? Because if you see the numbers aren't moving, and you see vice versa, you see that students are actually signing up,
I'll-
then.
I'll
you
move it
can
over.
move
Move it over.
Or the other way, if you see the students not signing up, and you see the paid people signing up, then you can move it the other way as well. I mean, I just, it builds in leeway that you're not gonna have if you don't get it like firm, you know what I mean?
Right, I agree.
but do we have that much finesse with the system that we
Yeah.
can manipulate it like that?
You can add quantities
You
of
can
codes and
add,
cake.
It doesn't require. a
Yeah,
vote.
so for the code, it does require a vote, because right now it's open, if you guys wanna stop it at a.
If you left it
timeout,
open, why is it required a vote?
No, it doesn't. That's what I was
Right
saying.
now it's
Yeah.
open.
That's required.
Yeah.
What the vote isn't about, the vote was about clarifying how we're gonna distribute the code.
Right.
Because,
That's what we weren't clear on based on the discussion that was had after a vote was taken.
the people from Barbara Goldman are having their National Honor Society meeting the first Monday of the month, which is the 5th of December. So they will be given this code and the volunteer opportunity. And so she said, you don't expect anything before the 5th of December.
But it's gonna be
Going back to
200
this.
students.
Coming back on what Ed said, which is totally logical. Why do we have to decide right now? Why don't we see how that goes? And then if we need to go on, anywhere we can.
Yeah.
So I guess we have to agree on that. We have to vote on that process. That's how we're gonna do it.
Because the issue would be if you give these people a student code and you say, hey, we can't wait to have you. And then they get there's a big rush and they go to put it in and it's not working. Then they say, well, we have 100 kids that, we're told the student code and it doesn't work.
Limited registration available.
Registrations are limited.
And we'll tell,
Everything.
and we're gonna give the code, so this is what we're gonna vote on. We're gonna give the code to the running coach, the honor society person, the head of each of those things, and this is your instruction, this is who you give it to. Of course, there'll be some leaks, but hopefully that'll be a controlled leak and we'll get where we're gonna, she's gonna watch it, you're gonna watch it, I guess we have a commitment to have nightly or morning numbers so that we can see where it's going and be kind of nimble on this whole last 10 days and see how we do it.
I just want to say that today at 3:30, I was going by on the East Seventh Avenue. I got my grandson going over. I was running from Barbara Goldman. I never seen somebody. They caught my eye because I said, hey, that can't just be a Gross County team. Because you're talking that to be easy over 100 kids and not uniform. Everybody running uphill, downhill, over that bridge. And we were already preparing for the, now they're gonna bring this up. I said, because I said, why all these kids? And it was girls, boys, of all ages, high school kids.
All right,
Running
so
up that bridge.
do we agree to put some limits and watch it? Do we agree to leave everything wide open and watch it and stop it if we have to stop it? That's that's all we kind of have to figure out and who we're gonna give it to.
What happens if we go over 700? Our stated goal was 700.
We're gonna run out of stuff. We
Yeah,
don't
so,
have the
but we
data.
don't have metals either?
No, we have 700 medals, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
But-
700.
So the plan from minus the student code was once we got to 700, if the system says that's it.
Yeah, we're happy again, because we don't have the bids or the medals.
So that the goal was to get 700 runners, so why don't we leave it open? And we just wait until we get 700 brothers, whether they pay the $10 or $20 or they get in for free.
Well, the
Our
system
goal is to
already
get
stops.
700
The
runners.
system already stops registration, doesn't matter if it's a code, if it doesn't matter, it stopped at 700.
What Judy was saying earlier was if we start to see a rush of adult runners, or regular runners that want to run, that are paying, that we could stop the students at that point and go ahead and continue to register the runners.
So who's gonna determine that stuff? Because
Judy.
you're saying that very, okay, yeah, that's fine.
No, but I think you designate someone that.
Yeah, yeah.
We can't vote anymore. We're
But
gonna-
you won't, you just then you assign that out.
So do I make a motion that I'm gonna be in charge of making?
Yes.
But
Yeah, I make a motion.
which I was starting the discussion. Because I would argue, I would argue that 100 runners at $20 a piece generates what, $2,000?
Mhm.
Which, of course, we don't want to sneeze at $22,000, but you have $45,000. And our goal now, which we've all agreed, is to get runners. It's not getting a $2,000 more. I mean, that would be nice, another 3,000, not to belittle, but 200, if we had a choice of $2,000 or 100 runners, I think we would prefer to get those additional 100 runners. But I like the idea of leaving it open and it shuts down at 700 runners. That way, we're not worried about what this guy, they paid, they didn't pay, they have a student code, they didn't have, we need runners, we want runners, whether they paid or they didn't pay, we want runners.
So I'm making a motion to leave it open until we got a 700.
If there's a
I
discussion,
make a motion to leave it the way Judy had it. We can only, it's going to be shut off at 700 runners anyway.
Okay.
And if he makes, if he needs to make that adjustment, he has the ability to do that, call an emergency meeting.
But I see what
It
Michael's
can
saying.
still go the way Mike.
What Michael's saying is just let it ride.
Well, I'm saying, but we can let it ride, but it's Judy's discretion if she wants to cut it at any point.
No,
So
you're
that's
not
what
letting
we're
it ride in if you're discrepancy.
Right.
One or the other.
No, we can. Judy can choose to let it ride. She'll decide at what point.
But then you're not agreeing. as a
yeah, then we would
committee.
have to vote on that. Now we can leave it.
Valuing this up to Judy's discretion to monitor it and make that decision when the time comes. Or not, let it run out. Either way, what do you say, Mike?
I just feel that we're, at this point, we're niggling, like, these little tiny.
Yeah,
details.
we're worried about $1,000 when it's not
When we have
worth the risk of
50,000.
missing people.
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
what you're saying. Is it more likely we're gonna get 3 runners and fulfill the 700? Or is it more likely that we're gonna have a rush of people that wanna run? And then we can extract money out of it?
Yeah, and
Like, what's
because,
the risk?
because the people that pay, the runners that have agreed through the community to serve and give volunteer hours are doing it because of their desire to get volunteer hours and give back. If we then put a cut on them and then we take those additional runners, I agree. I don't really think we're gaining a whole lot. I think if we leave it open, cut it off at 700, and then regardless, we don't get it. Because if you're trying to fine tune it, I mean, it really hasn't worked for us. We've made the decision, let's go for broke. You did all the legwork, we need runners, let's do it. And we went all in on let's do it. And now we're starting to get a little nervous and we kind of want to start pulling our chips back and,
We're not going back, we're just saying we have the ability to do it if we want to, that's all.
but I just think it's, you know,
It goes just the way you said, but if, for whatever reason, at the end, we want to do that, at least we have the ability without having another meeting, that's what we said.
mm,
How about we do? leave 50 open, so 50 people. So we can have 50 more runners, just in case there's the actual people that want to run.
sounds good.
And just
So-
let the rest ride.
Okay, so we'll ride up to 650 and then Judy, you reserve the right for the last 50 to either go into a pay only or maintain the open status.
I mean,
So
we
we're
have-
basically making a motion to allow you the discretion to decide after 650 what direction to move.
And we gotta be careful because we have sponsors that haven't used them, so you gotta deduct those from your code so that they don't run out too.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
Here, there's a lot of sponsors haven't signed up.
I know. Even I probably have 4 left.
Yeah, it's just like, it seems like there's getting to be too many little
If we open it wide, it goes, then,
Yeah.
then like my sponsors that paid 1,000, their 2 runners won't get in. I gotta leave a couple for them and.
Yeah,
How many do you need? Like 50?
Whether it's
75?
you're ready to go.
I think I have that on the sheet.
Yeah, 600, we had 611 in 2019. So if we beat that, then we're golden.
We should be it. We're doing it pretty.
I think is that I would have to sit right now, and figure out how many have signed up versus how many.
So the motion should be that I guess it's gonna need a couple things. The first thing is, we're gonna distribute the student code to the student, points of contact at the appropriate schools. That's who's gonna get the
In the
code
local area.
in the local area,
Sounds good.
including Hialeah Gardens and Hialeah.
And will they get a separate code, Kyle? Is that possible? Is that
That's what
too
you
much
guys
work?
want.
Yes,
Yeah, we can
please.
do it.
So we're gonna designate.
Okay.
Just let me know.
So Barbara Goldman has student 100 as the kind of the first one, and then whatever we develop after that. Thought about that.
But
already.
that's fine, I'll give them a new one if you want, so we can track that coming from.
Yeah, that's.
I shared that code with all of veterans, not just you,
I do have a question. The
so you
people
don't
that
for me to.
pay
Is that gonna put the school?
t-shirts, So on. They have only 700 t-shirts on the suit.
Right, and bags and
So
koozies and pens.
The people that are going in, that are gonna pay, are they gonna also get a t-shirt and so on?
Mhm.
Because we have to put some out to protect the people that have paid and make sure they get a shirt.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
no. it can't.
it's gonna cap off. So there's 700 made for everybody.
We're not gonna allow more registrants than we have t-shirts and medals.
And when would be the cut off the tail of the race?
No,
People
it's
sign up- people can sign up for each.
yeah, if there's still any left.
If there's spots left, they can sign up for it.
I show up, 700 people already.
Come and watch the band.
Yeah.
You could run and not get a medal too.
Yeah.
Nobody's gonna get mad at you.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Um,
Anyways, like.
So I make a motion to give codes, individual codes to each school. Give it to the leaders of the appropriate programs. All in favor? Or anybody want to second that?
Second,
Motion is?
Student code, yeah, Judy made the motion, student code distributed to local school POCs, seconded by Pedro, and then all in favor? And so that passed unanimously.
And then the second one was. We were gonna leave a discretionary 50 in the pot just in case, so she's gonna do a tally and see what we have and what are permitted with the vendor, with the sponsors. So I'll have a discretionary 50 to leave for paying, and at some point when we're watching how things are going. I'll either, we'll open up the rest and let them go. And I'll do that.
And so the way that it's accomplished is by setting the mark at 650, you can cut it off now, and then that extra 50 would be, you can't put
I mean,
it.
we'll switch it to 650, but then
No.
if the sponsor goes in, there's, then they would.
I mean, that Judy's discretionary 50, the only way that becomes discretionary is if there's a way to cut it off at 650 so that she has the option of working with that last.
Well, I think if it's right now we have 200 and the play between now and the 700 is 500, we cap the student code at 450.
Right, that would be the best. Student code is capped at 450 and we watch.
So
the
then
code
like
at-
whatever we have plus the student code, you're always gonna have rates.
Yeah, but the issue there is the 450 allowing 450 students to sign up. And then the notion of leaving it open for paying runners plus the sponsors.
No, sponsors, they're gonna do the math too. It's gonna be a little bit more granular. It's not that many. I mean, we have
It's not-
15 sponsors, so the most we're gonna have is
30.
35 or 40 sponsor free runs. I'm saying somewhere around there. And we have 10 and the others are one's 5. One who's not gonna use any.
Anyways, we're frustrated already. Keep an eye on it.
That's what Jonathan's saying. But now we're voting on Judy deciding, because it had to be broken up, so.
Right, exactly.
So we'll break them up. They're gonna do the math for tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll assign a certain amount to each school that we're gonna put in the pot.
Mm.
And we'll leave
Who's
enough.
gonna assign how many trees?
Let's just do an equal thing. Once we figure out how many schools it is, it's,
But why don't we just leave it, the student's a student's a student, and.
we're
however
just,
many-
we were just gonna measure, although that's gonna screw it up too. We have to do 100, 150, yeah.
But I mean, saying that this school can get 50, that school can get
Right,
75.
but that's what he's saying, though. He doesn't know.
Just leave it open to all students.
You know what, forget it.
Yeah.
Can you put a thing of which school they go to, so we can at least collect that?
and then leave the student code the same?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, put the school, at least we can do
Yeah,
that,
school
and see where they're
affiliation,
coming from,
Right.
let some kind of data,
We gotta move that. Lots of covers.
okay.
But we
Well,
didn't
we
vote
got-
on that then. The last little bit, with Judy, you get the discretionary to do whatever with the 50. Larry, you had the motion. What was it? Go ahead, if you could restate it, we'll just vote on that.
I forget exactly how. Judy had the flexibility, but it was at 650 or whatever number we choose.
It would have to be a number that we choose
To cut off the student and allow paid runners at that point,
at 650. then.
or paid runners or responsive runners.
Or
Okay,
how
so
about we just
total
say,
registrants
we're
at
gonna
650.
We're gonna leave room for 50 paid after they do their math, the calculate,
Yeah.
once the calculation is done, we're gonna leave enough that they'll be, sponsors are done, so they have their little spot, and we're gonna leave 50 that I'm gonna be able to push back out to schools or wherever I push it back out to, if we need to.
I second.
But wait a minute, didn't we just vote previously that we're gonna
Yeah.
leave this open? But no, the first thing that we just voted on was we're gonna leave it open to 700. Now we're saying, no, we're coming back. Right,
No,
with
no,
the student code,
no, we didn't say that, we said we're gonna give codes to each school,
Okay.
to the, only to the leaders.
Okay.
Pedro seconded it, we said yes,
Yeah.
now the second one is.
Okay.
That we're going to. I and Jonathan are gonna do the math
Mm-hmm.
on how many we've got, how many sponsored codes we gotta save.
Okay.
And then we're gonna leave whatever the remaining number of, to get to 700,
Mhm.
we're gonna just take 50 off that pot. And then we'll just give the schools as one school
Okay.
student code.
Mhm.
And then if we get close to where things are
Yeah.
using up,
Mhm.
I'll just throw it back in and there'll be more for students.
And the day of too, people sign up, right? So I suppose we'll be 10 or something for the day of or whatever. But that's gonna be your, at your
So I
discretion.
get 50 at my discretion to figure out what we're gonna do.
So the motion is that Judy gets 50 at her discretion, right up and coordinate directly with town staff.
Second.
Just
seconded
like
by
how we
Larry.
want runners to get.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, so that takes care of that. That's the student promo code, and then the reindeer run paid ads. You did that, Judy?
Yeah.
Your folks did that, and then
Well, she left something off there.
the National Junior Honors.
Can I go back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Judy had to pay out $1,500 in order to get those additional ads in.
Mhm.
We need to make a motion to get that reimbursed.
From the budget.
Or from the budget or from the monies that have been collected will be
It's gonna
pushed
come out of
back
the
out.
net. It'll
Yeah,
come out
that's
of
the
the-
only budget you guys.
Yeah, we only have the net.
Okay.
So I guess you guys need.
So, but there was 15 and 5, so is it a 2,000?
No, that was their school up. It's 1,500.
So reimbursement for 1,500. Larry made the motion.
Second.
Seconded by Pedro. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so $1,500 reimbursement to Judy and Headquarters Toyota. For the money they invested for advertising.
Thank you. And then we had running teams, just a quick reminder, especially for the town staff, you guys have your cities, you've talked to your other municipalities a lot. Maybe you can make some buzz with city versus city, couple town versus city, Hialeah versus Miami Lakes, we had the fun basketball tournament, if anything you guys can think of on, or police department versus police department, or police versus fire department, any kind of fun teams like that, please just keep your antlers up. And then F. Oh, and actually Manny said that to get with Hialeah Gardens and the running club there, so that's under my notes.
And you're gonna do that?
Yeah.
You have the connection.
I'm gonna do it, yep.
So what about Matter Lakes? Who's,
I don't have Matter, I don't know anything.
Oh,
about
Ed
it. He's
does.
doing that. Ed's doing Matter.
Now, Gary, remember, he used to cross country to the Larry's school.
Okay, all right.
and you
yeah.
have the code, right, Ed?
No,
He told us.
What?
We'll tell you,
yeah,
you'll get
The
the
code
code.
was sent via email to all of you.
okay, so then I have to.
And then the last thing on our agenda real quick is to review the antlers that Larry found.
I sent everybody,
Right, what was the national? Junior?
That's with, that's gonna kind of like be like Minnesota at Goldman, it's more, it's at HML.
Well, we don't need to vote on anything. like that.
No, they're gonna be student code, they're
Oh,
fine,
okay.
they're fine, they'll be in that, it's all good.
I sent everybody an email since we sat here, the pictures of those antlers. I personally didn't like them, but it's all I could find. So when there's 3 different types there, and then there's a price on how many of each the supplier has.
I don't see.
I got it.
The first antler that's pictured, the price was $2.40. And there were 400 available. The second one, there was 180 available. And and the price was $2. The third one, the price was 75 cents, and there was 120 available. I personally didn't like them, but you know, I said I'd bring them, this is the best I could do.
So what was the high price one? Cause that, I got the email, but there's no pictures, it didn't come through then.
Picture and complete.
Nope.
No,
I'm
I
sure.
didn't get it.
The first one was one that looks like Mickey Mouse ears.
Okay, no,
The second one, I don't know how well it would stay on your head. It really didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
And the third one looks like some kind of tree branch.
yeah, I think I'll pass,
I
but
agree.
thank you for doing
I
that.
agree. I
It
mean,
would have made it fun, but we're gonna have
it
fun.
would have the original antlers that
Yeah,
I sent pictures of would have been nice. They have them over at Home Depot, they're like $6 a pair. That type would have been nice. And it still would have been an issue whether or not it stayed in your head.
yeah, when you're on, it's gonna fall. And anybody, please, some more flyers, if you
Yeah,
please give them out. We don't have all our sponsors on them, but our sponsors will. Windows of all the,
Was that it?
I think we're ready to call it.
Yeah, you wanna call the meeting?
I, motion to adjourn.
Second?
I-
Seven
Thank you.
or 6:49?
If there's anything else,
I got
you
you.
can pick it up.